Have you ever wondered how greed can twist a person's perception of what truly matters in life? How it can turn a heart of gold into a heart of stone? The Bible, a timeless source of wisdom, has much to say about this insidious vice. The first verse to consider comes from the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 27. It says, "Whoever is greedy for unjust gain troubles his own household, but he who hates bribes will live." This verse highlights the destructive power of greed, not only for the individual, but also for those around them. Greed, as it turns out, is not a victimless vice. Moving along, we find another nugget of wisdom in Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 10. It says, "He who loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor he who loves wealth with his income. This also is vanity." This verse teaches us that greed is an unending cycle of dissatisfaction. No matter how much one acquires, it will never be enough. The insatiable appetite of greed leaves no room for contentment, only a constant craving for more. In the New Testament, the Apostle Paul, in his first letter to Timothy, chapter 6, verses 9 and 10, warns us about the dangers of greed. He writes, "But those who desire to be rich fall into temptation, into a snare, into many senseless and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evils. It is through this craving that some have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves with many pangs." In Paul's view, greed can lead to spiritual ruin, causing people to lose sight of their faith and suffer greatly as a result. Finally, in the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 5, we find a call to contentment. It says, "Keep your life free from love of money, and be content with what you have, for he has said, 'I will never leave you nor forsake you.'" This verse reminds us that our true security and satisfaction come not from worldly wealth, but from the steadfast love and presence of God. So what can we gather from these verses about combating greed? Firstly, recognize the destructive power of greed. It doesn't only harm you, but it also affects those around you. Secondly, understand that greed is a cycle of dissatisfaction. It's an insatiable hunger that leaves you constantly wanting more. Thirdly, heed the warnings about the spiritual dangers of greed. It can lead you away from your faith and towards ruin. Lastly, cultivate contentment. Find your security and satisfaction in the steadfast love and presence of God, not in worldly wealth. To lighten the mood, here's a little joke about greed. Why don't you ever play hide and seek with a greedy person? Because good luck hiding when they always want to keep their eyes on the prize.